Here are the great comments from the previous video. Thank you everyone for the interesting opinions on this topic. I truly appreciate your contributions. If you have any great thoughts about this video, feel free to leave a comment. I will select the best comments and include them in the next video. Thank you for always supporting and being with the channel.
In the tension-filled silence of a courtroom, with the eyes of the world on him, Diddy couldn't hide his fear. As a chilling video flashed across the screen, his face drained of color, his hands trembling uncontrollably. The man who once ruled the music industry, who lived life larger than anyone could imagine, was now facing a reality far darker than anything he had ever encountered. And it wasn't just the video itself, but the devastating connection it made, one that could destroy everything he'd worked for. What if Kim Porter's sudden death wasn't as simple as pneumonia? What if everything we've been told about that tragic night was just a lie designed to cover up something far more sinister? As Diddy's trial for sex trafficking and extortion unfolds, the truth about Kim's death and the man at the center of it all begins to surface, revealing a story so shocking it could change everything. Stick with us as we unravel a tale of betrayal, secrets, and a power struggle that might have led to Kim Porter's untimely death, and just how Diddy's darkest past is now coming back to haunt him. Kim Porter's death, the official narrative. Kim Porter's death in 2018 left the world reeling. At just 47 years old, she was known as a vibrant, healthy woman, a model, actress, and producer who had spent over a decade with music mogul Diddy. So when she was found dead, seemingly out of the blue, people struggled to comprehend it. The official report from the Los Angeles County Medical Examiner's Office attributed her death to lobar pneumonia, a form of acute pneumonia affecting a specific section of the lung. She had been ill for a few days, complaining of flu-like symptoms, fever, coughing, sore throat, and fatigue. She was given antibiotics and electrolytes, but nothing could stop her sudden decline. It was a shocking and tragic loss, but according to investigators, it was simply a natural death. However, the world wasn't convinced. While the medical report ruled out foul play, the public quickly raised questions. How could someone so seemingly healthy just collapse so suddenly? It wasn't just the mysteriousness of her death, but the details that followed. Kim Porter had a history with Diddy, and rumors about their volatile relationship began to resurface. Was there more to her death than the authorities were letting on? Al B. Sure, Kim's ex-husband and father of her oldest son, was one of the first to speak out. He publicly dismissed the pneumonia explanation, stating that Kim was perfectly healthy when he saw her just before her passing. "Of course not," he boldly said when asked if he believed pneumonia caused her death. That statement alone planted the seeds of doubt, and soon more whispers started to emerge, questioning what truly happened that fateful night.
Growing doubts and conspiracy theories. As time went on, more voices began to echo Al B. Sure's doubts, and the narrative surrounding Kim Porter's death grew increasingly suspicious. It wasn't just the odd timing or the suddenness of it all. Details that seemed insignificant at first were starting to add up in a chilling way. Kim Porter, a woman who had always been known for her energy and health, simply didn't fit the profile of someone who could succumb so quickly to pneumonia. The first to voice serious concerns was Gene Deal, a former bodyguard of Diddy. He raised unsettling questions about the events leading up to Kim's death, pointing out that, according to sources, Kim was unable to contact her family during her critical condition. Gene also alluded to the possibility of a scuffle taking place in the hours before Kim's death. In an interview, Gene suggested that Diddy's notorious behavior, his violent and unpredictable outbursts, could have played a part in Kim's demise. "I don't want to say exactly what I think, but I believe there may have been an argument, a scuffle, and Puff, as usual, might have been playing around the way he often does, like pillow fighting, and perhaps that caused her to suffocate," he said. That was a startling claim, but the rumors didn't end there. What truly raised eyebrows was the discovery of another key detail. Kim's casket had reportedly been ordered 2 months before her death. This was a red flag, suggesting that someone might have had prior knowledge that Kim would soon pass away. But even that was just the beginning. A self-published book titled Kim's Lost Words surfaced in 2024, claimed to be Kim's unpublished memoir, and it was filled with shocking revelations. The memoir described extravagant parties, dark secrets involving powerful Hollywood figures, and, most disturbingly, allegations of physical abuse from Diddy himself. It wasn't just Kim's health or her relationships that were under scrutiny. It was everything about the life she led and the powerful people who might have wanted to keep certain things hidden.
The connection between Diddy and Kim Porter's death. As the pieces of this puzzle began to fall into place, one glaring connection stood out: Diddy. The more people dug into Kim Porter's life and death, the more suspicions were cast on the music mogul's involvement, not only in her untimely passing, but also in the dark undercurrent of their troubled relationship. Kim had long been rumored to have held damaging secrets about Diddy, secrets that, if revealed, could shake his empire to its core. Diddy's behavior in the wake of Kim's death added another layer of suspicion. While he expressed deep sorrow on social media, flooding the internet with images of memorials and heartfelt posts about the most important woman in his life, his actions spoke louder than words. Not once did he demand a further investigation into the cause of her death, despite his status, wealth, and influence. If he truly cared, why wouldn't he push for answers? It didn't help that many people close to Diddy, including former associates, came forward with allegations of abuse that painted a disturbing picture of the man behind the public persona. Gene Deal, the former bodyguard, wasn't the only one making allegations. Mark Curry, a former Bad Boy artist, claimed that Diddy's insecurity often led to violent outbursts. Curry alleged that Diddy's violent behavior wasn't limited to physical altercations with Kim. He also accused him of wiretapping her phone, a chilling act of control and manipulation. For someone who had such a tight grip on his personal and professional life, it seemed Diddy was capable of much more than just controlling his empire. But it was the resurfacing of the shocking video footage that would later be revealed at trial that depicted Diddy in a violent, aggressive confrontation with Kim in 2017, just over a year before her death. The 17-minute video, recorded by Kim herself, was a chilling act of self-preservation. Kim had feared for her life and had secretly recorded Diddy's outbursts in case things ever went too far. And it was this video that would later become the centerpiece of the case against Diddy, connecting him more directly to her death than anyone had previously imagined.
Shocking new evidence. The courtroom fell into a stunned silence as the next piece of evidence was revealed. An earth-shattering video that was about to change everything. This video, which had been buried for years, was the key to unlocking the truth behind Kim Porter's death. It wasn't just any video. It was a 17-minute recording that Kim herself had secretly captured in 2017. Kim, who had suspected she was being watched and threatened by Diddy, had taken the precaution of recording their encounters, fearing that one day she might need proof of his abusive behavior. Little did anyone know that this footage would later become the most damaging piece of evidence in the trial. In the video, Kim can be seen sitting in her living room, her face a mixture of anxiety and resolve as she confronts Diddy about the escalating tension in the relationship. The timestamp shows it's around 11 p.m., and the conversation quickly spirals into an argument. Diddy enters the room, his voice cold and menacing as he says, "You think you can betray me? You gonna give them what?" Kim, trembling but calm, responds, "I didn't betray anyone, Sean. I just want to live in peace.
We need to stop this. But peace was not what Diddy had in mind. His response was swift and violent. He lunged at Kim, yanking her up from the sofa by her hair, slapping her 3 times in rapid succession. Kim's screams echoed through the room, but Diddy showed no remorse. The tension in the video was palpable, and the fear in Kim's voice as she begged him to stop for the sake of their children was heart-wrenching. "Please stop! There are kids upstairs," she pleaded. But Diddy's anger only seemed to intensify. The most chilling moment came near the end of the video, as Diddy leaned in close to Kim's face, whispering, "You know I can make you disappear forever, don't you?" With that, the video cut off, leaving a haunting silence in its wake. As the video played in court, the impact was undeniable. Diddy sat motionless, his face drained of color, his hands trembling as he realized the full weight of what had just been exposed. This wasn't just a moment of rage. It was a pattern of control, violence, and intimidation. For many, this was the confirmation they had been waiting for. Kim Porter's death wasn't just a tragic accident. It was part of a much darker story.
The fallout and the Jay-Z connection. As the trial against Diddy continued to unfold, another figure began to emerge in the public eye: Diddy's longtime friend and business partner, Jay-Z. The two had shared an almost legendary friendship that spanned decades, their bond becoming synonymous with the rise of hip-hop and the massive empires they built together. For years, they were seen as the power duo of the music world, two moguls who not only dominated the industry, but reshaped it entirely. But now, as Diddy faced these shocking charges, fans and critics alike couldn't help but wonder, could Jay-Z have known more than he let on? Could their friendship have been the key to Diddy's ability to operate unchecked for so long? The friendship between Diddy and Jay-Z has always been one of mutual respect, but also one that has survived countless rumors and scandals over the years. As the story of Kim Porter's tragic death continued to unfold, some began to question if Jay-Z was complicit in what was happening behind the scenes. After all, as close as these two men were, how could Jay-Z have been unaware of the wild, often dangerous parties Diddy was allegedly hosting? The world had seen Diddy's lavish lifestyle on full display, but now, in the wake of these allegations, questions about Jay-Z's involvement were impossible to ignore. But despite the swirling rumors, Jay-Z remained silent. He made no public comment on Diddy's legal battles, a decision that only fueled speculation. Was he distancing himself from Diddy's growing legal mess, or was he quietly aware of everything that was happening, choosing to remain out of the spotlight? This silence wasn't unusual for Jay-Z. Throughout his career, he had maintained a calculated distance from controversy, letting his actions speak for themselves. When he was criticized for his 2018 NFL deal, he remained silent until he was ready to respond. His ability to stay composed and out of the public fray made it difficult to read his true feelings on the matter. As Diddy's charges continued to mount, the silence from Jay-Z grew more conspicuous. But some, knowing Jay-Z's reserved nature, speculated that the mogul knew more than he was letting on, and that this scandal could potentially bring down more than just Diddy. Could Jay-Z's involvement, or lack thereof, signal the unraveling of their once unshakable bond? Alleged criminal network. The revelations surrounding Diddy didn't stop with his violent outbursts and questionable behavior. They escalated in the most disturbing ways. With more and more victims coming forward, accusations of Diddy running a vast criminal network began to surface, and the chilling details were impossible to ignore. Allegations of sex trafficking, coercion, and extortion painted a dark picture of the music mogul's true nature. The extent of Diddy's alleged involvement in these activities stretched far beyond what anyone could have imagined. A series of lawsuits were filed against Diddy, some dating back over 2 decades, all pointing to the same disturbing pattern. Diddy was not just a celebrity mogul. He was allegedly the orchestrator of a sophisticated criminal operation, exploiting vulnerable individuals for his own gain.
Attorney Tony Busby, representing over 120 victims across multiple states, described the case as shocking, with victims as young as 9 years old coming forward with horrific accounts of abuse. The scale of these crimes seemed to rival that of infamous figures like Jeffrey Epstein, with many alleging that Diddy had used his wealth and power to control and exploit people within the entertainment industry. But perhaps the most chilling aspect of the entire situation was the so-called list. A document, still unverified, had begun circulating on social media, supposedly naming numerous celebrities who had attended Diddy's infamous parties. Among the names were some of Hollywood's biggest stars: Leonardo DiCaprio, Ashton Kutcher, Paris Hilton, Howard Stern, Russell Brand, Mariah Carey, Jennifer Lopez, and Usher, to name just a few. These revelations sent shockwaves through the entertainment world, with many wondering how deeply embedded these celebrities were in Diddy's inner circle. The list wasn't just a document, it was a catalyst for further speculation. Why had these stars been involved? Was it purely business, or had they too been lured into a dangerous world of power and control that Diddy had created? The resurfacing of a 2011 interview with Khloe Kardashian, where she described attending one of Diddy's parties, added more fuel to the fire. In the interview, she recalled how many guests at the party were nearly undressed, suggesting that the gatherings were far from innocent. Meanwhile, social media was abuzz with accusations of other high-profile individuals attempting to distance themselves from the scandal. Megan Fox, for example, abruptly deleted her social media accounts, sparking even more rumors about her possible involvement. Despite the silence from many of these celebrities, the mounting pressure on Diddy and the growing pile of lawsuits had left many wondering how much longer his empire could remain standing. As more victims came forward and the legal battles expanded, it became clear that Diddy's web of control stretched far beyond what anyone had imagined. But perhaps the most disturbing question of all was how many more secrets remained buried, and whether or not justice would ever be served for the countless victims of his alleged criminal network.
Conclusion. As the courtroom drama unfolds and new revelations continue to pour in, one thing is clear: the truth about Kim Porter's death and Diddy's dark empire may be far more complex and far more sinister than anyone could have imagined. From the mysterious circumstances surrounding her sudden passing to the shocking video footage of Diddy's violent behavior, every detail brings us closer to a truth that many would prefer to keep buried. Kim Porter wasn't just a woman who tragically passed away. She was someone who, for years, held the key to a dangerous world of secrets, lies, and abuse. Secrets that, if revealed, could unravel the very foundations of Hollywood and the music industry as we know it. Her death has now become a focal point in a much larger investigation, one that implicates not just Diddy, but potentially many other powerful figures who have been able to hide their dark actions behind a veil of fame and wealth. As we look back at the evidence, the strange disappearances, and the accusations from former associates and victims, we can't help but wonder how much more is still hidden from the public eye. Could the truth about Diddy's involvement in Kim's death ever truly be uncovered? Will the victims of his alleged criminal network ever see justice? Or will the powerful forces protecting him continue to suppress the truth, leaving the victims and their families in the dark? What we do know for certain is that this is far from over. The investigation into Diddy's actions is ongoing, and as more victims come forward, the pressure on the music mogul and his empire is only going to increase. In the end, the question remains: will Diddy face the full extent of the consequences for his alleged crimes? And what will the final fallout be for those who enabled him? As we continue to follow this shocking case, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more updates as they come in. The truth is still unfolding, and we'll be here to bring it to light.